everyone! This is Remlays from 40k Theories, and welcome to this new episode of 40k Lore for Newcomers. For this episode, nominated on Patreon by Alpha Eridani, we will be taking a brief look at the monstrous constructs known as Daemon Engines. This video will be a brief overview for certain events that may be explored in greater depth within additional videos in the future. So without further ado, let's begin.
Demonic fury, bound into the shell of a metal beast and set loose upon the galaxy. Tell me, mortal, have you ever seen such a glorious sight?
Daemon Engines are monstrous and terrifying amalgamations of technology and demonic spirits which serve as war machines and battle beasts for the forces of chaos. There exist innumerable varieties of Daemon Engine, whose loyalties can range from serving just one of the four major chaos gods to fighting for the concept of chaos undivided as a whole. Regardless of who or what they owe their allegiances to, Daemon Engines are themselves nigh uncontrollable instruments of destruction that are just as likely to attack their allies as they would their enemies, due to their primitive, bestial urges to destroy everything within their path. As such, these constructs are often physically or sorcerously restrained when not in battle, chained like feral dogs in a futile attempt to curb their destructive impulses. Those mortals unfortunate enough to come face to face with a Daemon Engine will often find themselves overwhelmed by the intense aura of death and madness exuded by such monstrosities, with only those boasting the strongest of wills and constitutions being able to survive such encounters with their sanity intact. But even then, to survive an engagement with a Daemon Engine is in itself no small feat, as such constructs, infused with the savagery and ferocity of blood-starved beasts, will submit only when the destruction of their physical form has finally managed to halt their rampages.
All of the souls you will reap, all your spoils of war, to be a keeper of the forge, but a trifle price for the boon that is bestowed upon you.
Daemon Engines were first officially encountered by the Imperium of Man during the galaxy-wide civil war known as the Horus Heresy, where they were utilized by the forces of the traitor legions as well as those of the Dark Mechanicum. While their presence would become more commonplace during the latter years of the conflict, and in particular during the Siege of Terra, there do exist records of the traitors making use of at least one type of Daemon Engine as early as the Battle of Calth. As to how Daemon Engines are created, such knowledge is said to be known only to warpsmiths, individuals that serve as Chaos Space Marine equivalents to that of Imperial Tech Marines. Supposedly, whenever a warpsmith is commissioned to construct a Daemon Engine, they will conduct a ritual in where they will fashion an engine's physical form from rune-inscribed blood-soaked iron before forcibly binding the essence of a demonic entity within it. Now, having become forever trapped within its new mechanical body, with the various runes etched across its hull preventing the demon within from escaping, the Daemon Engine, upon awakening, will inevitably enter a state of berserk animalistic fury, resulting in such constructs needing to be physically and psychically beaten into submission until the time comes to unleash them upon the field of battle. However, despite the steps taken by warpsmiths to ensure their own personal safety, such rituals will always pay a steep price, as dozens if not hundreds of slaves and thralls at a time will be slain in their attempts to subdue their master's newest creation. And yet, while such methods are perhaps the most well known amongst the mortal followers of Chaos, they are not the sole means to create a Daemon Engine. Indeed, such constructs are sometimes created within the depths of the warp itself. Deep within the formless wastes of the realm of chaos, and unaligned to any of the four major chaos gods, there exists a location known to demonkind as the Forge of Souls. While this forge is known primarily for fashioning weapons for the Infernal Legions, the forge can also offer incredible power to any demon desperate enough to acquire it. Should a demon choose to strike a bargain with the forge and in turn swear an oath known as the Iron Pact, it will be transformed into a type of demon engine known as a Soul Grinder, beings whose strength is said to equal, if not surpass that, of greater demons. However, such power always comes at a cost, with the price of power ranging from claiming a few dozen mortal souls to spilling the blood of millions, with no two demons ever being given the same task. But unbeknownst to the demon, the terms of the bargain can be altered by the Forge at any time, ensuring that the true cost of becoming a Soul Grinder remains ever so slightly out of the demon's reach.
Behold the warrior of steel, whose tread cracks the earth, and whose coming is the doom of worlds!
While countless varieties of Demon Engine are known to exist, many of which being devoted to a specific member of the Chaotic Pantheon, by far the most common are that of constructs which nominally favour no particular power over another, such as Forge Fiends, Mauler Fiends, Helldrakes, and Defilers. Forge Fiends are large Centaurine constructs that are designed to serve as living heavy weapons platforms, unleashing an unrelenting storm of fire to cut down their foes from afar. Such monstrosities will typically be armed with either Hades-class autocannons, which spit out solar munitions reaped in warp fire, or ectoplasma cannons, which spew a devastating mixture of plasma and ectoplasm that can melt through even the thickest of armor. In stark contrast to Forge Fiends, Mauler Fiends are engines that are built for close-range shock assault. These pseudo-reptilian beasts will use their powerful forelimbs, rending claws, and tentacle-like mechadendrites to tear their prey limb from limb, much like how a lion would a gazelle. Despite their size and bulky appearance, however, Mauler Fiends can perform acts of surprising speed and agility, such as by scaling the sheer walls of a fortress, or even the legs of a titan mid-motion. One of the most universally feared types of Demon Engine, however, would undoubtedly be that of Helldrakes, pterosaurine creatures which serve as a demonic equivalent to aircraft. Indeed, aircraft is what these constructs once were, originally piloted by traitor space marines, but have since been twisted by the energies of the warp. As these aircraft became increasingly corrupted, they developed a predatory intelligence all of their own, while their pilots physically fused and merged with their craft, until they degenerated into becoming little more than the very heart of a newly born Helldrake. In battle, Helldrakes will often plummet from the skies, snatching up infantry within their talons like some vast predatory bird, all whilst vomiting up gouts of warp flame or spewing a torrent of forge-hot bullets that can rip their way through flesh, stone, and metal alike. Of all the common demon engines employed by the forces of chaos, Defilers are perhaps the largest. Boasting an appearance of a vast, heavily armoured crustacean, Defilers are colossal, living siege engines which are capable of laying waste to entire armies single-handedly. While such Goliaths can be seen sporting a variety of long-ranged weaponry, such as Reaper autocannons, heavy bolters, and missile launchers, it is the torso-mounted battle cannon, universally equipped by all kinds of Defiler, that is perhaps its most dangerous weapon. Indeed, the sheer destructive power of a Defiler's battle cannon is so great that it can wipe out an entire squad of Space Marines with but a single shot. And yet, despite their multiple heavy weapons, Defilers are no slouches in close quarters, as these demon engines are armed with large and powerful crab-like claws that can butcher their way through anyone that dares to assault these particular engines in hand-to-hand combat. Some Defilers, particularly those with an exceptionally aggressive temperament, will boast additional melee weapons in the form of a Defiler Scourge, a series of lashing, whip-like tendrils that constricts and crushes anything that they can grab a hold of. And that concludes this edition of 40k Lore for Newcomers. If you like this video, consider supporting us on Patreon for more content. To those that are new to 40k, we hope you learned something. So leave a comment below, and thanks for watching.